Mic test, mic test. Hello, guys. So, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, the last time I did this live outlook, I I didn't check my microphone, so the video had very shitty sound. Okay, so that's what I'm checking right now, and then we can get on with it. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, yeah. I think it's okay. We can get on with it. I think that's good. So let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Um, right. Let me share the link to the channel. There we go. Get this going. We can get this going. Just a minute, just a minute, guys. All right. So gold. We'll start off with gold, or maybe I should start off with DXY today, because I think that is where I'm getting most of my analysis today. DXY, I'm kind of fully depending on DXY today. So DXY, I had mentioned that I want to see it dropping from this level. So initially I had mentioned that I wanted to sweep this liquidity and then we get a drop, and we got this very small drop in form of a retracement. So that was not the move I wanted, and price continued higher. So I held this order block. So I want to see if price can react from this order block, because this order block is the one that produced this move. And this move, as you can see, it broke structure here and further retraced and then broke another structure here. So basically, as I had mentioned, I want to see it continuing to the downside. So we broke structure there for the first time, and then price went even lower to break this second structure here. So what we are seeing here is what the SMC people trade. They wait for it to go back to the upside. I guess this is the supply or something like that. So um, I want to see the reaction we get from this order block, okay? And then if that does not happen, then I will have to wait for this liquidity sweep on the previous week high, okay? So if this order block does not hold price to the downside, because if we can tap it and then drop to the downside, then maybe we can continue with a bullish move on gold, because gold has been retracing for the past around 24 hours or so, maybe 24, less than 24. So DXY, I want to see how it reacts to this order block and this high. So those are the two key zones that I'm looking at. So there is this order block, and then there is this high. This is the previous week high. And if we can get a bearish reaction on these levels, it could be very great, because I really want to see DXY dropping to the downside. So going now to gold, if you remember how we had broken down this price action from on Monday. Was it on Monday? No, it was on Tuesday. If you remember how we had broken this price, so I will not repeat that again. We are on an uptrend until we sweep this 4200 and maybe retest this new week opening gap. So those were my targets for the week, and we have not yet reached them. But what we are seeing right now is the simple concept that I have been explaining for the last 2 weeks, almost on every video that I do. I've been telling you guys that price does not move in a straight line. Okay, price never moves in a straight line. Okay, so uh, looking at it that way, this is a straight line. Price never moves along a straight line. It will always do a straight line, and then a retracement leg, a displacement leg, a retracement leg, a displacement leg, a retracement leg, and a displacement leg until we reach the target. So let's say this is the target. So we never go in a straight line. We have to get some retracement and then continue retracements and then continue. So that being said, I want us to look at what is currently happening. So we had on a 4-hour chart, so we can start off from the daily chart, of course, so that we can make this a top-down analysis. So as you can see, we have been on an uptrend, and we had this SMT to the downside. We have formed a change in state of delivery. We have displaced with a lot of strength, leaving behind a daily fair value gap. And additionally, you remember this new week opening gap. We have now traded fully into it, and that is a show of bullish strength, okay? Because if we would have respected at least consequent encroachment, which is 50% of this new week opening gap, then probably I would have said that, okay, now price could be looking to trade lower. But because we closed above that with a lot of strength, I am quite confident that price should continue with its bullish run until we sweep this buy side liquidity, and then maybe retest this new week opening gap. Okay, so uh, that is what I'm looking at on the daily. And then I've just noticed that I did not give you what I saw on the daily to give me that conviction that DXY could be looking to trade higher. So looking at the daily chart on DXY, I noticed that we have been rejecting from this level. Okay, so we have been rejecting for this level for the past 2 days. Yeah, this was on Tuesday. This is Tuesday's candle, and as you can see, Tuesday candle was unable to break this level. And what do we have to this side? this is a daily order block. Okay, so this is a daily order block, and price has been holding from there, and then yesterday again we were unable to break anywhere above that. So that is why I'm telling you that on the 4 hour I am looking to get some reaction from that level. And then it is important to mention that when we have an inside day, I like to wait for the next day to sweep either the high or the day of the previous day. So for example, here we had an inside day on DXY, and as you can see, we have already swept the low of that price action, and we are now rallying to the upside. So I would like to see maybe a sweep of this buy side liquidity, and then we can continue to the downside. So that being said, probably should mark that, but it is within the order block. Let's see. So yeah, as you can see, maybe we can sweep that, then test this order block. So basically I'm just looking at how price reacts to this order block. Okay, so I will just delete this to keep the chart as clean as I can, then reduce this to that one line. Okay, so these are the two levels I'm looking at. Let's see how price reacts to this, and then also how it interacts with the previous day high, which is 101.169. How it reacts to this high. This is Tuesday's high. This is the high of the current high of the week. So I had also mentioned on Tuesday that maybe Tuesday could form the high of the week, which it has done so far. So let's see how price actually reacts to that, and if we want to retest this order block, because as of now we have not yet retested that, and I had mentioned that I really want us to retest that as we form the high of the week. So on Tuesday we failed to retest that. We only, I guess, we touched the week only, the week in a very faint manner. So yeah, this is not a retest. I would like us to retest this order block, and probably in an ideal condition I would like us to not to sweep this high. I would like this high to remain protected. Okay, so yes, that is how I'm looking at this piece of price action. So I'm expecting something like this, uh, something like that, this high to be protected, but it could be swept a week, and then the candle body should close inside. So maybe something like that will be enough for us to get that drop to the downside and continue displacing lower. So now back to gold. On the daily chart, I have explained that we have been displacing higher. We have left a daily fair value gap. We have formed a daily change in state of delivery, and additionally we have closed above 50% of this new week opening gap. Okay, this is last week's new week opening gap, which I explained about maybe in one of the reviews. So now going to the 4 hour, if that is the daily, if we have had that consecutive uh, bullish move to the upside, then I probably expect one slow day or a retracement. Okay, because as I have said, price does not move in a straight line. So as you can see, we have been moving, displacing daily. We have displaced on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So of course today we might get that one retracement day and then continue to the upside, because I don't think we are finished. I do believe that we do have to, I believe that we have to sweep this liquidity before we continue to the downside. So that is what I'm looking at on the daily, and I do expect maybe a consolidation, an inside day, or something that retraces back inside. So that being said, I go to the 4 hour to look where could price be retracing to, and that is where the levels that we have been marking out in the weekly chart will come in play. So to start with, we have this propulsion block right here. Okay, so it's a type of an order block. So in this displacement to the upside, we had this order block forming. So first of all, we have that, and below that we have this 4 hour fair value gap, and then we have another 1 hour fair value gap below. So this was the one I had marked yesterday, and I wanted price to react from here, but price did not come to that low. So today you can see that during the London session, the London kill zone, price has retested that order block, and now we are trading inside it. Okay, we are currently inside, not an order block, I'm sorry, we are currently trading inside a 4 hour fair value gap. So, and you will notice that we have a minor break of structure here, and this is the level that we also broke structure to the upside from this high. Okay, this is last week's high, I think Tuesday date 14. Yes, so this was last week's high. We have already broken that with a lot of strength. So that is another signal that price will continue to buy. So of course, as price does not move in a straight line, I am choosing to interpret this, or I am looking at this as a retracement to the downside, and then we can go to the upside. So the first PD array that I'm looking at is this right here. So how will price react to this? And then I will now go to the 1 hour chart and see how price is reacting to that. So I could say that this price is generating by sell side liquidity here, which it will sweep during the New York and then reach into maybe this 1 hour order block. So you can see that we tapped an area of 4 hour fair value gap. So this means this is a 1 hour order block, which means price could retrace to that level, sweep the generated liquidity that it will have formed here, and then reach into that, and then we can go to the upside. So that is how I'm interpreting the current what how price looks right now. And like I have told you, today I will be relying mostly on DXY to give me the direction, because uh, with gold I do not know the key level where it will react from. So let's see how price reacts to at 4061, between 4061 and 4053. Okay, so let's see how price reacts to that level, and yeah, we'll see how if we can get an entry from that zone, because as of now I think this fair value gap has already been validated. So maybe we are generating some form of liquidity, because if I look at the 4 hour, we had not gotten any clean retracement such as this one that we are getting right now. So maybe we can wick into this area, and you can still see the order block from here. It's 4069 to 4062. Then when you go on the 1 hour chart, it's probably this 4061 to 4052. So when you go lower to the lower time frames, you will keep refining that zone even better. So but I will choose to look at it from the 1 hour chart and see how price reacts to that level. So I think that's it for gold, silver, and DXY. Uh, Maybe we can do a quick look at silver, see what it's doing. So it's the same thing on the daily chart. We had that lower low being formed. Price started to displace to the upside. We have closed above consequent encroachment of this new week opening up from last week. So I do believe price has uh, what to rally to the upside. And as you can see right now, price has just swept the previous day low, and it's now heading into the daily fair value gap. So that could be a good sign for bullish price action, because we will have swept sell side liquidity and dipped into a daily fair value gap. So let's mark that. Then we can also mark the daily sweep that has occurred, but it has, I think we can just use the high end of this fair value gap to show that liquidity sweep. So let's go to the 4 hour and see that even better, or maybe the 1 hour. So as you can see, we have swept the previous day low. Let's see where it was. So Wednesday right here. So this is the previous day low. It has been swept. So I think we will be going for this low at 58.233, because silver seems to be more inclined to sweep the sell side liquidity. So let's see how price will react to this level, and then see how we can go about it. Or this could be a 1 hour order block that can hold price to the upside, now that we